video, we're going to learn how to analyze whether our prototypes meet the criteria. So go ahead and open up your spreadsheet for your results and then scroll over to that question. For me, it's number 3. So I'm going to use count if again. And what I think would be helpful is to go and just copy this so I can remember what I have to do. And I'm going to plop that down below here where I can still see it. And it's the exact same formula. I just copied and pasted it in here. And so I'm going to start count if. So start typing equals count if. There it is. Remember, I have to go up and select what I want it to count. So I'm going to make sure I'm scrolled all the way up. My first row of data is 2. So I'm going to hit H2, and then I'm going to select shift in the very last row of data. Okay, and now I can't remember exactly what I need to do. I think I put a comma in here, a quote mark, and then I'm going to put an asterisk. And then I got to tell it what I want it to count. So I want it to count meets criteria. And notice my capitalization. So meets criteria, and then asterisk. And I'm going to close it up. Asterisk, and then quote, and then parentheses, and then I'm going to hit. Okay, and it did go through and actually count meets criteria. Now, notice my meets criteria has a period in it. So if it didn't count, I might have to go back and add a period. Let's see what happens if I add a period. Okay, it still counts. So now once I've done that, I can get rid of my formula here. If you're really having troubles, you can go back and forth and look to see what yours is missing compared to this one. So remember, the nice thing about Excel is once I've done a formula correctly, then I can select, get into that box, and once I have this little guy down here, this little square, I can take and pull it across. So I actually have 4 questions that ask about whether I'm meeting criteria or not. Okay, so once I've got all of these counted, I can quickly just look and see that I'm really not meeting my first criteria of adjustable belt, nor nobody thought my prototype was attractive. So I'm going to go over here, add a new sheet. And again, it pops it up where I don't really want it. So I'm gonna pull it over. It looks like I've got an extra one in here somehow, so I'm just gonna delete that sheet. Make sure it's the right one, and I'm gonna pull 8 over so it's the next sheet, or the last sheet. I'm gonna rename this one criteria. And we're gonna be comparing, again, so we're gonna use a bar chart, criteria bar. And now I'm gonna go, to make my life easier, I'm just going to go ahead and select all of my criteria. And I'm going to Control C, go to my criteria bar, and I'm going to Control V. Okay, now I don't need all of this. Remember, when we're doing a bar chart, we want as simple and sweet as possible. So I'm going to now just go down here, and this will make it easy for me to retype adjustable belt. And I'm going to capitalize 3 pockets. It'd look nicer if I wrote 3 out, but I think it'll be too long if I do that. Wearable, and then attractive. Now once I've done that, I don't need these anymore, so I can go click 1, right click, and delete my row. Now I got to go back and get my data. Remember, if I go and I copy my data right now, I just did Control C. What I've done is I've copied my data. If I just hit paste, then I'm going to have a problem because it says 0. Okay, and the reason it does that, I'm going to delete that all. The reason it does that is because it's trying to paste the formulas, and it can't use the formulas because we're not on that page any longer. So I'm going to go to Special Paste, Paste Values Only. Okay, and now I've got all my data that I need. Okay, and we've already made 2 bar charts. So now I'm gonna leave it to you to create a bar chart for this. I will remind you that in order to do that, we have to tell it what data we want to create a chart for. So, and I'm gonna go up to Insert. So go up to Insert, find Chart, and create a bar chart. Some things to look for is when your chart is done, let's go back to our add bar chart. If I scroll down, when my chart is done, if I've done it correctly, there'll be no legend. I'll have a title, all capitalized first letters. Okay, I'll have a label down below, capitalized first letters, and then I'll have a label along here. So the rest is up to you.